Okay. Right. Now I know you guys have been waiting, and I missed my actual. I actually missed my podcast before. I was on vacation doing some business, like grown niggas do. Uh, but I am back. I will still have one for. Am I going to have one for Saturday? Yeah, I will have one for Saturday. Yep, I have one for Saturday and possibly the next Saturday as well. Trying to handle this move, but either way, I wanted to pose a question to you, and I'm going to invite the YU.
What up? I've been trying to talk, man. How you been?
What's going on, bro?
Not much, man.
I've been trying to get this. I've been trying to get this move, man. I'm moving really, really far from my normal place, man, and it has been hectic. I've never did a move this drastic in my life.
Understandable. Question: what podcast you do, man?
This is what you're on it right now.
Oh, I thought you do like actual podcasts. Because I do podcasts as well too. If you ever seen my channel and stuff like that.
Yeah, like right. No, I saw it, but my podcast is a little different.
Okay.
I did all sorts of different types of podcasts, and I settled for this. This is a podcast where I don't have myself on camera or anything like that. Too many people are too self-conscious.
Yeah.
I particularly don't care. But you're being recorded on YouTube right now, so this will be on YouTube.
I say less, man. Make sure y'all check on my recent podcast. Hopefully, me and it's illicit can both do a podcast in the future. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
But yeah, I wanted to talk about this.
Yeah.
So I see that you have your topic title as Nintendo and what constitute as DLC. So I don't have the.
And I think I got an equation. By the way, I think there's an equation, and I know people are going to think this is volatile as hell. It's really a question. It's not necessarily. See, people are going to read whatever the hell they want to read. That's what's going to happen. They're going to look at this as being negative.
Yeah, the reason why I said that because I want to talk about how dumb gamers are nowadays. It's like,
oh, shit.
Let's just put it plain and simple. So recently I saw that the Dolphin Emulator is now going to be on Steam to where people can have access to play Nintendo games. And it's like, I don't think these PC/Xbox fans understand. When it comes to buying a particular platform, you went that route because you wanted to have that gaming experience. Everybody has to do it. You cannot expect everything to come on one device because then we're going to look 10 years back. It was a waste for them to making these consoles and then it's like, damn, like we could have just had all in one box. Why did we have to wait generation? Like, no, they did their hard work. You know, I'm going to applaud them and I'm going to respect it and I'm going to support the fact that they put so much hard work to make these consoles, make these generation of gaming to where we can have experience of gaming. Not where subscription service is like the future of gaming. Like Game Pass, for example. One Xbox dude that I used to interact with was saying like how Nintendo's gonna be in the leapfrog because they don't have like a Game Pass subscription and they're not putting their games in PC to where they can make more money. They're already making money right now.
Right.
So that's why I'm just like these.
So what is your in particular grievance with this?
As in what?
That's why I want to figure out. Like, is this leading to the subject as of now?
Oh, I mean, it's kind of hard to answer that question though.
Like, does it? So okay, so I want to stay on topic on this one, and what I wanted to talk about is just what the DLC. Like in terms of the quality of games is really what this is kind of leading into. So you're mentioning.
Are you saying that because of the Tears of Kingdom is coming out pretty soon, and people assume that it's like a DLC?
Yeah.
Like
so what I'm trying to figure out is what were you referring to? I guess that's what I'm kind of wanted to know.
So now to answer that question, I don't think anything constitutes as DLC. Period. Because, like, for example, why would anyone even think that Tears of Kingdom is like a DLC?
Well, hold on. Wait. Hold on. I want to make sure I'm because you're in the podcast now and you were saying something.
Mm-hmm.
What did you want to say exactly? I just want to make sure I'm on the right page. What were you trying to say? What subject were you trying to go after?
Oh, like just overall with Nintendo, and then how these Xbox think that, you know, Nintendo's doing the wrong thing, not putting their games on PC, to why the Dolphin Emulator is now going to be available on Steam, to where these PC guys can start modding Nintendo games. And I think that's just going to be a sense of disrespect to their IP.
You can't listen to these dudes, because I'm gonna tell you right now, right? What's happening with these idiots is that they're not really. They don't really, from what I understand, like the idiots that we see online, they don't really talk about gaming, to be honest with you.
No.
You know, they talk about console warring. They got that shit in spades, but in terms of gaming, not really. So they're not even applicable to any of these conversations, because they're there, right, to create chaos. That's what they're there for. They're not making any kind of valid argument at all, because they want the games to go on PC in terms of PlayStation as well, and they don't play it anyway.
Exactly.
They say that they say that they want the best of the best of the best, and then when it comes down to the best of the best of the best, you don't play anything. You know, I just want to have it on. I just want to have the best service of it. Man, they're full of shit. To put plainly. So, like I said before, what I want to target in this particular conversation, I'm going to keep it. So I don't want to stay here all day with this one, but I did want to talk about this. And I missed my podcast for last week, because I was somewhere else.
Respect.
Now let me take a look here. So I wanted to kind of give people what they wanted. Let me see here. Movies anywhere.
Well, is there a way that you can give your thought on this, so then I could probably try to relate of what the topic's really about?
Sure. My thoughts on which?
On the topic, the question.
You mean like the Nintendo thing?
Yes, please.
So, I do truthfully believe that there is an equation for which starts to dip into, DLC. The thing is, when people buy something new, they're expecting a fresh experience, completely fresh. I would imagine, right?
Mm-hmm.
Something that elevates their particular favorite franchise to another level. Then it could be like, okay, cool. It's worth the price of admission. So I have a couple grievances with a lot of the things that has been going on. Now, people can think that I'm trolling. I'm not. I'm raising a damn good question. If I might say so myself, I think I'm raising a great question that people don't want to. They don't want to answer. Really, they'll dismiss this when they see it as me trying to start a console war, when this is something that they need to ask themselves. Because ultimately, you're capping for something, right, that isn't doing you any good in particular.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if Sony, right, released Horizon, is my favorite friend. This is my favorite game. I keep playing it over and over again. So anybody knows me, they know I'm all up on the Horizon bit. But if Sony released Horizon Zero Dawn Part 2, and that shit was still based off of the Savage East, and they just gave me more mechanics, maybe she can climb and swim, I would be kind of pissed to pay $70 when you could have just put a DLC and added that in there. I don't think that what I'm asking for is I don't think it's a horrible thing to say. I don't think that's a fanboy thing. I don't think that that's any of those things. Why is that so taboo to a lot of these Nintendo fanboys, where they start freaking out as if I'm attacking them? Yo, you could just talk, man.
Yeah, Petro, you can talk.
Hey. Hello, you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. Good.
Yeah, yeah. What's up in this and this guy named Yo or you Yo. Anyway, um, I hear your grievance, but your
I don't know who has like a lot of noise in the background. I don't know if it's you. We're having trouble hearing.
That is not me.
yeah. I'm sorry about that. I'm in the public, so I'm wearing.
Okay. Cool.
So, sorry about that. I was saying I hear your grievance, and you you have uh, the right to question the motive behind the pricing of that game. Because to me, I never imagined just how you say. I never imagined taking the time of day to the time of day to critique a game be- before I buy it. To me, that seems so strange to me. Back in my 20s or 30s, I never really sat down and looked for people like not approve of people opinions about if this game worth getting. I always went off my trusted instinct, but apparently things are different now because I'm on this social app, and it's pretty apparent that people are they are concerned of how the business of designing games or the end results could be the purchase of a game. You know what I mean? Like the old critic, the old people saying it's a great game and you take their word for it. But the point,
I mean, that happens though. Sometimes you get somebody right, and you don't. It's out of your realm of like you would never think about getting that game. And there's albums like that too, where somebody puts you on to it. One of the games for me was Dying Light, the original, the first one, not the second one. But like I didn't know I wanted that game. I was like so adamant about not getting any zombie game. To be honest, I was like, man, these shits are corny. They're all biting off of the Walking Dead. I was like, I don't have time for it. And somebody got me to play it. That happens. That's human. I don't think that that's a problem. My particular problem, right, is the very fact that people kind of accept mediocrity. I mean, I can't say too much because you know what the argument is going to be? You guys can hear me?
yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Listen,
You know what the argument is going to be, right? The argument is going to be, well, the game hasn't even come out yet. You're criticizing the game. They said that they haven't shown everything. I've been on this earth for 38 years, right? So I'm not a fucking idiot. I'm not. I'm not saying that they're wrong, but I'm saying that could be interpreted as many different like avenues. Somebody could simply say, we haven't showed you everything, meaning that we haven't showed you all the combinations you could do with the combination system. So it's like, all right, either way, even if they had different mechanics, you're still in this, like, I feel like the experience, regardless of what they do, is cheapened by the very fact that you're using, I don't give a fuck if you added it on. You're still using the same fucking environment. I just feel like it's cheap.
Yeah, I also concur with you. I believe that they had flipped a lot of the assets from the previous game, and they built upon it. If you know what I mean, they took things from the first game and they put it like a building block. They put that there, so from a distance it looked different. But if you want to compare it to the first game, like I seen a photo, I seen a particular like a 10-second trailer of the Skyward Sword. I mean the Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, and they were running side by side, and it looked like identical because they took the same assets and they just built upon it. I don't have a problem with that, but it's just funny that certain games can just get away with it without a
certain
slight
companies, certain companies. I don't even think it's
yeah,
a game. I think it's a fucking company.
yeah, it can get away with it with no type of pushback from the media or from the gamer itself. So there's a big a disconnect with how each game is being treated. Like Breath of the Zelda game, always been treated with it like with gloves on. If you
Oh
know what
no
I
no
mean.
no! It ain't the Zelda games. It's Nintendo games. The Nintendo games, even at their most criticized, you may have to mute your mic, man. There's a lot of shit going on. All right, cool. Even with Nintendo, right? I mean, even the most criticized Nintendo games still get away with absolute murder. You know, I put it to you like this, right? This is for the most avid fan of any of what do you call it? Gravity Rush. Spoiler alert: if you haven't played Gravity Rush 2, if you're a fan or contemplating it, oh fuck well. Gravity Rush 1 had 3 islands, I believe. Let me see. This one, Pleasure did 4 islands. So the first one was kind of like a regular town. The second one was kind of like an entertainment district. The third one was industrial, and the fourth one was kind of like New York City. And that was a pretty big map, a big open world for a Japanese developer to make, especially that size. When they made the sequel, which was 5 years later, they made a completely different island altogether. It had no vibe at all like the first game, at all. Different music, all of that was totally different, unless they wanted to pay homage to the first game. And the graphics were in order of magnitude better than the first game. Cool, I would have been satisfied with just that. I had no problem. I would have been like, this is a good game. We're great. We're golden. But they had the audacity to create the first game in the second game and then upgrade the graphics to the same level as what that sequel had. It looks way better. And what I see in Breath of the Wild, right? I get it's the same hardware. But usually, if you're limited on something, what you would do is that you would make a different environment. So it won't look that damn fucking bad, you know? Maybe you don't have the graphic chopsticks or the engine can't do all that other extra shit. But at least you can make a...
And listen, hold up. This is the sequel. So the sequel is like a continuation of the same game, but added on to from the previous. So
what game are you talking about?
I'm saying the sequel of the Breath of the Wild. So I'm saying that they cannot make they can add to the game, but if you're going to make a sequel of a game, the game gonna play almost exactly as the first. So what you're saying?
We're not talking about mechanics though, man. We're talking about with first of all, it's a different name. It's called Tears of the Kingdom, so it's not even Breath of the Wild 2. So that's even more egregious. That's number one. Number two, the issue is that island that basically encompassed, Hyrule Kingdom, right? That's just one fucking continent, if you want to call it a continent, right? How come I can't go to another fucking continent on that same Earth or that same world and just have a different vibe, and they can have the floating islands and shit like that as well over there? It was already empty. What more what are you putting in there? And that side by side, some of the graphics look worse in Tears of the Kingdom to try to compensate for more things that's going on. It's less detail. I could screenshot that shit if I really have to.
I've seen it.
No, I mean like in general. So like this is my issue with it, because now people are using semantics to try to clean it up and excuse them for this. Oh, it's a continuation. So the fuck is Horizon Forbidden West. That's a continuation too. And it runs by a different fucking name. You don't even you visit maybe about like I can't even say a 10th, a 20th of the first game. just for story purposes, and then you go to another area that looks nothing like the first game at all, and they upgraded the graphics. Even if you want to take apart or take away the PlayStation 4 or 5 version, it still looks way better. And they added a swimming mechanic where you go underwater, which wasn't. They have underwater environments in Horizon Forbidden West, so that's more shit you could do over there. And then on top of it, they added ability to fly. And on top of it, they added ability to climb. On top of that, they added a melee and combo system. On top of that, they added different machines. And the mechanics in general are completely different from the first game. Or I should say, to be fair, expanded upon. It's a different game. You can't play Forbidden West like Horizon Zero Dawn. Yo, so why you? What you guys say about all this? Now that you heard some discourse.
Man, listen. I don't even know why games are even like this to begin with, where they're like 90% finished, and then when a DLC comes, oh, now it's like 95, and then the next DLC comes, then it's like, I just don't like the way gaming operates this generation.
It's going to be like that because these games are more expensive. I get it. Look, if the game is not completely finished and you need a couple of patches to clean it up, that's fine. I understand that as a gamer.
But if you look at it this way, look at all God of Wars 1, 2, 3. They were all complete. They were all finished. They were all complete. We didn't need no DLC for those. We don't need any DLC for any God of War, to be real with you. So I don't see why we even like doing it to these type of open world games like Assassin's Creeds.
Call of Duty. New game, but they're I see Call of Duty's different. But in terms of you said open world games, Call of Duty, and I'll stick with the open world situation.
Yeah, basically open world.
Those games
when the game
like
is already big enough to even like know what's going on in the game. You know what I mean?
But sometimes this is what DLC used to mean to me back in the day, back in the 90s. If you had DLC, they were usually ideas that were on the cutting room floor, essentially, that they wanted to kind of expand upon, and it could help out with a sequel and things like that. But sometimes, it's like an encore, if you will. It's like, okay, cool, you like the first game, but this is what we were kind of working on, and let me, this is our gift to you. You can see, back alley or backstage access and stuff like that. That would have been fine.
But don't you think a sequel is more of enough than a DLC? Because then you get some new add-ons and stuff like that.
See, no, no, it's not enough. Because again, one of my other favorite franchises, which if you go on YouTube, right, on that link, Tomb Raider was one of my favorite games. And so what they used to do back in the day, actually, I'll probably put that up there. What they used to do back in the day, right, with the Tomb Raider games, the old ones, is that they would have a full game, right? And then about maybe 6 months later, they would release like a expansion with 3 extra levels.
Whoa!
So that's what they would do. That's how that would work. So like for Tomb Raider 1, it had 13 levels for Tomb Raider 1, and then they had unfinished business for the DLC that you could pay. You could pay separately. Right, cool. That works.
PS1 or PS2?
PS. It was PC really. It was PS1 and PC, but the PC got the DLC back in the day. And then they had unfinished business was Tomb Raider 2. Tomb Raider 1 had like the cat stone thing or whatever the case is. Tomb Raider 3 had the lost artifact. Tomb Raider 4 had a level editor and some other, like times. I forgot what it was. It was like this exclusive archaeological thing that they had going on. And that was DLC. And when you like the game, it's great. There's 2 pieces to this. Because to me, the mechanics that they have in Tears of the Kingdom, it should be like a $30 edition, but nope, they want all their money, Nintendo. And if they can get away with it, they are going to get away with it and charge not only a full price, but they've increased the price. The reason why the increase of the games going from PS4 to PS5, there were a lot more options. There were like cross generation, and you had extra features like ray tracing and higher frame rates. So yeah, it's going to cost a little bit more money. It's going to cost $10 extra.
Well, let me say this right quick. So, are you like against the fact that Tears of Kingdom is going to be $70 but due to your research, it's like, damn, it doesn't really need to be that much? Is that what you're trying to
I
get?
feel like here's the equation. This is what I'm going to say, and I'm going to put it out there.
That too after
I'm going to put this out here. I would say that something is DLC if they share 40% or more of the prequel or the predecessor in terms of assets. If it's 40% or more, then now you're getting into the DLC territory. Nigga, they have the whole fucking Hyrule. They have the whole Hyrule Island or whatever continent in that whole game. And then put some islands at the top and some new mechanics. If you can't swim underwater and it's a whole new kingdom under that bitch, just because you could create vehicles and weapons, I don't think that shit's worth it.
Now, mind you on this, imagine whatever they just showed us, and then once the actual release actually comes out, it's like a totally different experience. So I think Nintendo's trying to fool y'all at the same time, if you get what I'm saying.
I mean,
y'all think it $70 like because they trying to steal y'all money, but then when you actually get the actual full game, it's like, damn, now I see why they did this.
See, that's the thing that people give Nintendo the benefit of the doubt of. When did they ever do that? When did they ever trick you into thinking, oh, you get this, and then you get it is much better?
I know how. When they announced that, whatever it's called, that subscription service where you get...
Oh, no. Games. Not service.
I'm trying to get there. Like, why would they... to the amount of Nintendo 64 games that's out there, why would they only give you guys one a month? But you got PlayStation, you got Xbox, give you 3 or 2 a month. You know what I mean? That's where they trick y'all. My question is this: name me one Nintendo game where they say that you were going to get this level of service, and then it blew your expectations. Zero.
Name me one game.
Zero.
At least with Forbidden West, we didn't even know you could fly in that game. If you couldn't fly, all right, fine. The game still sound. All of a sudden, you popping out with a pterodactyl. So that's what I'm getting. I'm like, all right, cool. And Gravity Rush, right? Mm-hmm. Gravity Rush was totally okay because the sequel had a map that was 2 times bigger than the first game. So I was okay with that, right? And then on top of it, you literally traveled in real time from the new map to the old map, which was rebuilt from the ground up with the new graphics. I wasn't expect that. Blew my shit all the way open. Sony's done that. Not Nintendo. I can't put it in the fucking chat. Put it in the chat.
Yeah,
put it in the fucking spaces. I don't remember this. Yeah, I don't think I'm going crazy, and I don't think I'm being a troll or anything else. I don't think I'm being a troll. I don't think so. I think I'm being like real here. And I'm seeing people give Nintendo this benefit of the doubt. They charging $70 because there's some secret mechanic that they haven't showed you that when you play the game, it's going to transform the game. It's going to have another game built in that bitch. Oh, they did do it once. I'm sorry. I lied.
What about Mario Kart?
It was 1989 when you bought. It was 1989 when you bought the first Mario game, and they had Duck Hunt built into there. That's the last game they did that shit for.
Wow.
My apologies. They had a regular Mario game. You put another controller in there, and it was a whole brand new fucking game in that bitch. It's a deception to the rule. That's not what they normally do. So it is safe for me to say, I don't think this is it. I think what's going on, because they want to give you the illusion, and it's cool, it's a game, but they want to give you the illusion that you can combine anything you want to combine, and it will create another item. So what they did is they spent most of their development time creating objects around the world that you can combine to create different weapons. Rest in belief, they already have all these combinations in memory. It's just for you to discover these combinations. But they had to make it work in such a way because they already did the chemistry engine where they had the physics interplay with each other. They spent the 6 years coming up with these combinations and making sure that the game was balanced enough for it to work. And I think personally, with Tears of the Kingdom, I think it's going to be even easier than than Breath of the Wild because the lore to this game is going to be exploration, not combat or even story. I couldn't believe it when they showed it. I was ready. And if that game would have been big enough, I would have been like, I'm getting the Switch 2 because I do like Zelda. And I saw the trailer. Lo and behold, you're using the same fucking music from the first game.
Oh, hell.
You didn't even bother updating the soundtrack. The horse animations are the same. Link has an anime, and then people have an audacity to talk about Link's falling and there's no pop in. Well, of course there's no pop in because the environment is smooth as eggs. That shit has no fucking detail on no fucking rocks and sticks and grass. So when it comes to
falling, what do you mean the fans been saying Link is falling? Like the whole brand is falling?
No, like he literally fell off of one of those mountains.
Oh,
free falling.
He was free falling. So as he was falling, right, they showed the entire Hyrule world or continent, right? And that shit was shrouded in fog, so it was obscuring your vision. And then on top of it, it ain't like the textures are detailed. The game was cel shaded. So you got these smooth as eggs fucking textures, this one flat shaded color. Of course the game is going to load that shit properly without a hard drive. It don't have a mechanical hard drive. It has a fucking flash memory. So of course it can load up those smooth as eggs textures. It ain't loading that much. And on top of it, it wasn't like you could see trees all over the fucking place. You just saw rocks and formations. That was about it. Some colors and just major points of the environment. When you play Fortnite, right, and you fall from the fucking boat or bus or whatever the case is, you see all the trees. If you go back to that trailer again, you do not see no trees or anything else until you get close. People are clapping like seals for this shit. You could do that in the first game.
I do have we'll call it a nitpick, but I do have a comparison when you comparing games that supposedly is an open world per se. Each are like this, say Forspoken. I'm gonna use that game for example, and the Zelda game. They both look bearing from a distance, but if you go further, certain parts of the map, there's certain portion of it. They have locations of hitting not trees, but hitting bosses and fights. So I believe that Tears of the Kingdom is bearing by design because they couldn't. I mean, it's a limitation from the hardware, but it's bearing because they couldn't fit they couldn't program enough stuff on a map. Because if they would have done that, I mean, if you notice, if you play the game, I played it on my Switch at the time when I played it. If you riding on your horse, if you're going real fast, if you stop the enemies will pop in, like it will draw in at the same time you stop with your horse. So that was the problem with that game. You're going to get that with any game because it's a limitation with everything. I'm not trying to crack fun at it being bearing. That ain't the point. The point is that people are literally saying this is remarkable and shit like that. Like we didn't see this shit in Breath of the Wild. You could glitch the game and you fly up in the air
hundreds and thousands of feet up in the air. You fall. It takes you 3 minutes to fall down, and they still rendered Hyrule continent just the same way. It's not anything new. Like, you see the same form. Look, if that's your jam, that's your jam. But what pisses me off about the situation is people are so hypercritical of a lot of the Sony games. They're like ultra fucking critical about Sony games, right? And like, for instance, they call it God of War DLC. Remember that equation? And remember that, huh?
That's coming from an Xbox, so continue.
No, it's not. It isn't. That's the thing. There was reviewers, which was crazy. That wasn't the narrative. Now, here's the thing, right? Cool. If you don't like it, you don't like it. But people were saying, oh, he's crawling through things. It's loading the environment, which it probably was. All right, fine. But more importantly, remember that equation that I mentioned before. If it's 40% or more reused assets from the previous game, to me, that you didn't need to make a new game. God of War, spoiler alert, I'm about to spoil this shit. You play a totally different character with a completely different moveset. About 60% of the game is new.
It's true.
And then the existing game, the existing environment that they had doesn't even look the same, such as the Lake of the Nine. It's frozen. So they had to go back to the drawing board and redo everything there too. Not only that, but they reworked the game. You can't play God of War Ragnarok the same as you played the first game. And then on top of it, they add all these extra fucking bosses and enemies and shit like that. And so, in a different story, in a different soundtrack, I don't understand how Nintendo can get away with reusing that many assets. That game is like 20% new. Tears of the Kingdom. From what they showed, I find it hard to believe that they will be able to literally have a hidden game within this game. Like I told you, in 1989, which was like 33 years ago, right? 33, 34 years ago. My math is all fucked up. That's the last time they had something hidden within the game that shocked everybody when you mistakenly plugged in the controller and something else booted up. They used to have that Nintendo seal of quality, which is why they have the reputation that they have now, but it's the reputation is there, but the truth is completely different. Some of the games that they did was so fucking cutting edge, it was like, what the fuck? When they did the fucking Mario games back in Super NES and the Zelda games, it was nothing like it, and I get it. There's only so many ideas when you create a game. It's only so many, you know what I mean? So it's not like it's just only so many ideas. So totally fine, I get it. But they did Wave Race. I didn't even know they did Wave Race 64. But they created this water that I've never seen in my fucking... No one ever seen that shit. You know what I'm saying? And they would help other people out. And they did Mario Sunshine. That looked like something that we've never seen before. They created a genre of a video game, which was Smash Brothers and Smash Brothers Melee. They had party games that didn't exist. They were on their shit. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, they gave up when the going got tough. And it was like, well, fuck it.
What you mean they gave up?
They stopped being cutting edge. They said, fuck it. I'm not making a cutting edge console anymore. I can't risk losing this entire business. So I'm going to do what it takes. The only thing I'm going to have is style. I ain't going to have technology with this. That's the best thing I can really do in this particular case. Is I'm not trying to like go to the wayside like the other companies. But a lot of the stuff that Nintendo did that fucked up their name was on their own accord. If they would allow Sony to make that fucking sound card, they wouldn't have had this fucking problem in the first place. But they wanted to do what they did, and this is what the fuck you get. But now you created a legion of fucking loyalists that just eat the slop that Nintendo gives them. It could be any fucking thing. Arms. Talking about some damn arms. They didn't even bother create a decent name. Hey, guess what? I got arms. They're creating paper fucking BRs. That's my grievance. I mean, you can say that I'm being an asshole, whatever the case is. At the end of the day, it feels, from what the trailers that I've seen, I can see why they didn't show you that much. because it's probably not that much to show. If they show you too much, then they pretty much expose the whole fucking game. So they're being quiet as kept with all this shit. I can see why they ain't showing shit. I'm just trying to figure out, how do you jump to the conclusion that they hit something in the game that's a major mechanic, and you give them the benefit of the doubt? It's no better than Xbox. Talk about the games are fucking coming. The games are coming, and they haven't came for 9 fucking years.
Mm-hmm.
You just keep giving it, and then when it comes to Sony don't say nothing for a year. Oh my God, they don't have nothing. Yo, y'all see that? They don't got nothing.
Yep.
And they have a fucking track record since 94. They keep pumping out games. If it's not them, they're doing partnerships so you can fucking play games. You should be all about the games, not about these fucking brands. I don't understand why you're so fucking loyal. It just blows me the fuck away. I tell you this, if Sony fucks up, that's the end of their motherfucking ass. I ain't dealing with this shit. If Sony got me fucked up, if they fuck up and fuck up my games with either some woke or whatever the fuck they doing, or if the game quality drops, or they charge it too fucking much. If they keep doing this game as a service and them shits are not good and that's what you focused on, I'm out of this bitch. I'm 38 years old. In 10 years, I'll be close to fucking 50. It is very easy for me to quit.
Damn, so you was probably alive when Tupac was around.
Yeah. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I see all this fanboy, and I'll say this. I see all these fanboys repeatedly. Whether you be my age or sometimes a little older than me. Talk about the CMAs and what they're doing and shit like that. Nigga, what are you gonna be doing at the age of 50? Are you sure you're gonna be playing these games? Or are your fucking knuckles and your knuckles and fingers gonna be arthritic and you ain't gonna be playing these bitches anymore? Because that's the reason why you don't play Call of Duty like you used to, or Fortnite or Apex. You can't keep up with these younglings. So what are you gonna be doing in 50? And when you get 50 years old, you still gonna be talking about the CMAs and shit like that, and what and who's buying what? Is that what you're gonna be doing? Like, sometimes fanboyism is so ridiculous to me, I can't deal with it. It's so ridiculous.
I truly agree.
I'm just saying, like, you're so willing to fight for these fucking companies. Like it's your country. You know what I mean? You're fighting for your identity. It's all a part of it. You got the fucking weebs sitting there talk about nobody makes games better than Japan. And then play some shit. And then you just love it because they use the same fucking storyline in any other fucking anime that they've been doing for the last 60 fucking years. We already know the fucking coming of age story, or the fucking the characters that get amnesia, or the betrayals in the games, and and all the other fucking shit that they do in anime. But you'll eat that shit up. When it comes to a brand new fucking game, everybody's in these new age fucking gamers talking about I just want a new experience. I just want a new experience. Here comes Returnal, a brand new fucking experience. Guess what? Not that new experience. I don't want that one. I want something else. Just fucking tired of it. Anyway, my point is, look, I'm not making fun of Tears of the Kingdom or Nintendo. I'm just posing a question. The question is, what constitutes as DLC to you? That's the question. If anybody hear this space or go onto my YouTube channel, which is Illicit Therapy, and you hear this, put that shit in the comments. What do you consider DLC? Me personally, if you use more than 40% of your previous game's assets, that shit's DLC to me. You didn't need to make a whole new game, let alone charge $70 for that bitch. That's too much. For the sake of all the Nintendo fanboys that Nintendo can do wrong, I hope there's a whole fucking island just like Elden Ring under that fucking island. Or you'll be able to go to the seas and fly and see and sail completely with them fans or whatever the fuck they are across the fucking ocean and find another fucking island with a new fucking mechanic or some new music or some shit. I hope all the shit that I seen in the trailer is some placeholder shit. Because if it ain't, you's a dumb bitch. I tell you that. Go ahead, play your DLC. It better be. You better hope that there's an island under that bitch. You know, Elden Ring style. You better hope you can dig in that bitch. You find yourself in a whole fucking different world. Just saying. Don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at me. If you play that game, it's the same shit. Because I'm going to tell you right now, if I see any of the Nintendo fanboys complain about any of the fucking games that I play, it's on site for you motherfuckers. I'm just going to start posting the same fucking pictures and asking people, can you tell the difference? Don't play with me. Don't play with it. 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 I swear to God, I'll come and start comparing these two fucking games and make you look stupid. They're doing it now at 50. What are you talking about, Quambo? What's going on, bro? My bad. I'm sitting there trying to juggle YouTube and this space. Now, before we close up here, right? I just wanted to have an hour of ranting. That's all I wanted to do is an hour of being a nigga. Am I wrong? Am I tripping? What would you have to say, why you? Am I tripping with all this? Did he dip out? He must have dipped out. I was angry. Oh no. He back.
Oh, like everything you're saying, like, you know, you have what's it called? A chronological reason why shit happens, you know what I mean? Like, but at the end of the day, you know, they're like, and it's crazy, like, and I'm glad that you said this because by the time I become your age, what are these fanboys gonna be doing at that age? You know what I mean? Like, I can't even imagine what's gonna happen, you know? So that's why I'm at the point where I want gaming to remain how it was when I was growing up and how it is right now. I don't want everyone to be accustomed to this whole subscription service because what you just told me, these fanboys, I'm telling you this right now from the heart, these are these Xbox guys. It can't be a Nintendo guy. It can't be a Sony guy. These are coming from Xbox because they want these games to be playable on PC. They want these games to be playable on the subscription service. It's not coming from anybody else. So I hear you 100%.
I don't know. Yo, Guap, what you gotta say about this shit?
I want to get Guap, man.
I was extra passionate.
Yo, Guap.
What's good, my niggas? I'm currently burning the house down. Just give me a minute. I'll be right with you.
Yo, get your cooking game on.
But nah, man.
No, but yeah, go on, talk your shit, man.
You know, because like earlier, I was dealing with this clown, and you know, he was trying to tell me how, even though this is not what the topic's about, but you know, Sony's up.
Yeah, go on. I already did my.
Sony's are crybaby, this and that. But didn't you guys just recently cry to the goddamn Congress? Excuse my language. Like, and you know, just keep going back and forth. I'm just like, listen, man, this is where I log out because why am I going to waste my time with a slow head clown ass bastard to where we were able to see what Sony was capable of doing? Well, matter of fact, what Jim Ryan was capable of doing. If we want to talk about businessmen, owners. He said, let the games do the talking. And they have been doing the talking. But why?
Yeah, that's why they're doing the numbers that they're doing, because he is letting it do the and they're not done yet.
Of course they're not. But why whenever, and I can't even say it's a drought. It's just they're working so hard to make these games. So why whenever there's like a drought, oh, Sony ain't got no games, oh, Game Pass, where is that? But these guys been waiting for Starfield since 2019, my man.
They didn't even know what the fuck Starfield was. They didn't even know what it was.
Exactly.
They knew they wanted it, but they didn't know what it was. They were struggling with that shit.
And then it's like I just don't see myself putting that much of energy than I used to back in the day. You know? Because
how old are you?
26, but I act 40.
No, I mean you don't got look. Don't try to rush your damn age. You better stay the fuck that age.
Nah, I don't condone this gender. I don't condone the way they dress. I don't condone
the
way they communicate. Look, I wish I lived your time. I'm telling you this right now. I wish I lived your time. It may have been dangerous, but
no, it's much more dangerous now. I'm gonna tell you that right now. This shit is look, this world is falling off the bone right now. That shit is.
But if you look at it this way, back then when we lost 3 legends, right? Their case still unsolved. But now the internet is finding them. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm just like, back then was scary. You know?
No, I mean they popped a lot of shit back then. So you're gonna get that's your result. But I mean it is what it is. So ultimately, yo Guap, where you at?
I'm right here. What's good with y'all niggas tonight, man? How's everything?
What's going on, man?
Ain't shit, man? Just chilling, fresh out the gym, trying to get like you know what I'm saying? I do got a problem here, man. I don't feel like this is a fair angle to take, even though I do agree with what you're saying about reused assets. My thing with Breath of the Wild specifically is that's one of the deepest games we have in all of gaming history, even though obviously it doesn't meet the modern standard for frames per second or resolution. So I do think they're full of shit when it comes to the $70 price point, because even when we look at PS5 games, the PS4 versions, which are vastly superior to anything that the Nintendo Switch can produce, are $60. So I feel like if you have Tears of the Kingdom on the shelf at 70 and something like God of War Ragnarok on the shelf at 60 is kind of a slap in the face, right? Because there's nothing that Tears of the Kingdom is doing to justify that $70 price tag. Typically when we see $70 games, they have DualSense features, ray tracing, 60 FPS, 4K, like all of these justifiable features. This is simply Nintendo doing some big swinging dick shit, saying, fuck you, pay me. And honestly, I fuck with the energy, even though as a consumer, I'm not going to support the business model. I'm currently boycotting Nintendo until they put out modern hardware, right? But I feel like calling this game before we play it DLC kind of justifies the motherfuckers that tried to do the same shit with God of War Ragnarok, and it almost empowers the ignorance. And I for one, wouldn't go that far unless I had played the game to completion and I felt like the story didn't push the game forward, if the gameplay elements didn't do so, and things of that nature. Even though I feel where you're coming from, and you're going hard at Nintendo's neck, and they deserve it, because they're kind of the dickheads of the industry right now, right? Like, they're the ones giving out the least value when you look at the 3 platform holders. And that's saying a lot, because you know how much I get on Xbox for not having any games. But even with them, what we see in 2023 is with their specific strategy, right? Game Pass is killing it, quote unquote, with all the releases they managed to pack in the first 6 months of the year. And then we have Nintendo just saying, fuck you, pay me, which again, I'm on that energy too. So it does resonate with me, but it's kind of a slap in the face, because we know the media has been knocking Sony games for being $70, not saying shit about sports games being $70, even though it's the same shit every year. And they ain't gonna say a motherfucking thing about this game being $70. And it's reusing a lot of the old assets and the map and all of that stuff. But personally, I wouldn't go that far unless I had played the game and I wasn't satisfied with my experience. But I could still easily see this if I put the performance and the visuals aside, because it is on a fucking $40 tablet. Let's keep it real. That's how much a Switch is actually worth. Outside of the screen is 40 fucking bucks, which is mind-boggling. But outside of that, I think it's going to be an excellent game and an easy game of the year contender.
I am not saying that it's not going to be. I'm just asking the question. See, what the Xbox did is they called it, and the little crybaby fucking what's his name? David Jaffe talk about something.
Yeah.
It looks like DLC.
That's how me and Jaffe got into it last year, right? That's when we went viral on the Roundtable podcast. where he was up there talking all this shit, trying to be slick and underhanded, right? Saying, oh, when I call it DLC, it's not an insult. So I was like, okay, nigga, that's why the second half of your career was a DLC. And then that nigga lost his shit and spazzed out. And then Sick Humor came in off the top rope with the elbow and gave him the good old 1-2. So he was weaponizing it and trying to, you know what he does. He tries to generate clicks and traffic or whatever it is to get super chats, right? He wants to be provocative. I'm one of the most motherfucking provocative motherfuckers in this whole space. So if you want to go there, I can go there toe to toe with you any day of the week. But I wouldn't put myself in a situation. I have, regardless of the critiques you have for Nintendo, they're one of the best development studios in the entire world. They really do.
And again,
for their buck out of the hardware.
And again, I'm not saying that. I'm asking the question, and I'm making it aware. I feel like in this industry, you need to be opinionated, but do it in a way where it's intelligent. I'm posing the question. Like I said, I gave everybody an equation to go by. If it's using 40% or more of the assets in a previous game, to me, you didn't need to create a brand new game. That's what I'm saying. To me, it feels like the experience, regardless of the experience that you have, is cheapened by the fact that you're reusing the entire fucking last game and then put some islands on there. To me, it's cheapened. Whether it's a good game or not, that's the problem here is the double standards, and that's what I'm calling out. Zelda could be an amazing game, but I don't want to hear nothing the fuck else when it comes to Sony and DLC and reuse. I don't want to hear shit else. If you can accept that, then you should be able to accept anything the fuck else that Sony puts the fuck out there. Because what people are going to say, I guarantee you, is that Spider-Man is not enough. It feels like we've been here before. I guarantee you that's going to be the fucking rhetoric when it comes out. We've been here before. Yeah, it looks nice, but I was expecting more. But you didn't say that shit when it comes to fucking Tears of the Kingdom. I want people to use their fucking brains for once. Why don't you use your brains?
I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you in that capacity, because there is a hypocrisy where these reviewers do great with a soft edge when it comes to Xbox because it's in last place, and they also give a soft edge to Nintendo just because of the nostalgia and what they represent. It's almost like they always walk into a Nintendo review with a smile on their face, ready to give it a fucking 10, and they would have to bend over backwards to fuck some shit up in order for them not to. So I totally agree with you on calling out the hypocrisy. So definitely kudos for me. And as for answering the question, it's very simple. What is a DLC? DLC stands for downloadable content. If you can only get the game, if you can only get the content by downloading it, then for me, that's what I would call a DLC. We see Horizon Burning Shores. That's a DLC, right? And that's pretty clear. You can't buy it in the store. It's $20. It's priced appropriately. It could be 15, 20, 30 hours long. Who knows how much time we'll get out of it? But when the developer themselves call it a DLC, I take them at their word, and that's what they're doing with Horizon.
Well, here's the thing: you can buy Tears of the Kingdom as a hard game. You know what I'm saying? So it's not just that's the. All I'm saying is this, and I'm using DLC in this case as a derogatory because to me, it should be priced appropriate.
Weaponized in this space like that. I totally.
It should be appropriate. The price is what I'm looking for. The price should be appropriate if it's going to be DLC. You know what I'm saying? If it's going to be DLC, $30.
I also expect this to be the biggest Zelda game ever. It's been in the longest development of any Zelda game ever. So I have very high expectations. I'm a huge Zelda fan, going back to before Ocarina of Time. What was it? Link to the Past, one of my favorite games of all time. So I'm definitely in their corner, and I expect this to be a smash hit, both critically and financially. And one day when they make a Switch 2 or something that respects my wallet, then I'll gladly reinvest in their ecosystem. But I already had a Switch. My shit blew up, so fuck them. They ain't getting another $360 out of me. Like, fuck them on that. There's no fucking way I'm giving you $300 for a $40 fucking tablet. Nintendo are Titanic assholes for ripping off their consumer base in that regard. You saw me get into it with Nintendo fans all last year for saying the Switch wasn't worth $300 in 2022, just from a hardware perspective, and I stand by that. And what did these motherfuckers do? They turned around and raised the price. Like, the balls on Nintendo, man. Like,
But I don't even
But-
think it's Nintendo fault. You know, a company's going to company. You know what I mean? But the
Yeah,
idiots that continue to buy it, that's them. You know what I'm saying? Look, I'm a load before I close it out, right? I'm hungry. But anyway, I'm about to eat some fucking, what is it? Man, just a sandwich, because I do intermittent fasting to keep myself on point.
Pies or some Boston.
No, I already ate my McDonald's. I'm a sweet person, so like I'll sit there and eat like sugary shit. Anyway, I would have hate, right, Guap, if they said we're gonna release Horizon Forbidden West, and if they gave me that game and you're still where Meridian is and the Savage East, and it's the same game but it looks the same, and all that's different is that she can climb and fly and swim in the water, I'll be pissed. I would have been super pissed. I get it. There's a lot of mechanics. I think personally that they're waiting 6 years to make sure that the mechanics are balanced because they're adding so much to it. Like I said before, all of the combinations for the things that you can do is already in the game's memory. So they give you the illusion that you could pick something up and attach it when it's already in memory. We should know how games are made. So they had to make sure that they thought about all of the items and then scattered them around so you could discover what items can be combined with what and how that mechanics are. I think that's where most of the development cycle went to. But wouldn't it have been nice to have a different island? And same gameplay shit.
Did you look into the leaks? Did you look into the leaks?
Chris Wright just mentioned something about the leaks. What did they have?
So I do believe there's more than they're showing. I think there's like you know the old school Ocarina of Time, the water temple. So I believe there is going to be an explorable water area. There's like a lava area. Link gets a wingsuit. This game is going to be chock full of content that is new. I don't think most of the game will be based in that Hyrule area we already explored in the previous game. I don't want to judge this game because of fucking idiots on social media and in the media itself because of their inability to see the quality of the game. So I do want to give it a fair shake in that regard.
Yo, you sound far away, man. I think something died or something.
My headphones died. My bad. Hold on, give me a second.
Oh man,
that nigga was all the way down the street.
Listen, man. Like I already said earlier, man. They're just probably trying to tease us what we're gonna see now. But then when we actually get the full game, it's gonna be a tough.
What's going on, Jemiah?
But I hear what you're saying, though. I truly do hear what you're saying. Especially if you're a big Zelda fan.
But I posed the question. When did Nintendo, I'll say it again, and this is rhetorical, you can do what you want with this information. When did Nintendo create a game where they say that it's going to be, this is the standard, and then when you got the game, it blew your socks off because it was a whole different game? When did that happen?
Like you said, 1989, way before.
1989. So giving them the benefit of the doubt, I get that there's leaks or whatever, but there was leaks about Tomb Raider and Lara Croft being naked back then too. There was leaks about Grand Theft Auto 3 having an extra island called Carson City, and you had to pick up these fucking dice shits at the fucking console. That never fucking happened. A leak's a leak's a leak. Now, I'm not going to give something the benefit of the doubt when they don't earn it. That's like a slave owner. All of a sudden, I'm like, damn, he didn't beat me this month, so I can expect next month he ain't gonna whoop my ass either. I'm sorry, their history is just not rich enough for me to sit there and say that they're going to give me a crazy fucking experience that blow me the fuck away because of some rumors or because they didn't show you anything. They're not known for that shit and such. I'm not gonna give it to them. I'm gonna be looking, but even if they do give you some extra shit, I still think that they should have had a different island. Point blank, period. That's all I got for everybody here, man. I gotta eat my foods. I'm gonna eat my nuggets. Anyway, I appreciate everybody coming out here. I appreciate all that shit. Appreciate you guys listening to my ranting.
Oh, for sure. Anytime, man. Always a pleasure, brother. Appreciate you.
Awesome. Thanks.
Hey, shout out to Horizon Burning Shores, man. We getting that any day now. I couldn't be more hyped, man.
Did you see
VR for the win?
Yo, did you see
that cloud technology? Whoo!
I was like, bro, like, all right, that's a whole new island that you're going to be discovering. That's a whole different place. All right, fine, whatever. But that looked fucking crazy. That don't make no sense. Like, the game is already up there. For them to elevate it even more and it's just DLC, you didn't even incorporate all your technology. Man, that PS5 is going to be, I don't think we're going to need a pro for that bitch. They haven't used it like they need to. So either way, that's my particular tinfoil hat or whatever the case is. But like, yeah, just saying, or whatever the case is, hit that YouTube link up. Go ahead and follow. All these spaces are recorded.
Subscribe to him.
And you'll hear that shit. I'm glad. I didn't want to make anything controversial, and I know somebody's gonna be like, "Yo, look at this guy talking about Zelda." No, not really. I'm keeping a watchful eye. I just want to see what it looks like. I'm curious. I would have liked another area personally. That's all I'm saying. Really, what it boils down to. And if you're gonna use that many assets, I kind of feel like it's kind of cheapening it. It could be a great game, but I still feel like it's cheapened. I wanted to see something different. I don't think I'm wrong for asking that question.
Hey, them motherfuckers use the same assets and up the price. That shit is crazy. That's a
ballsy move. They was like, yo, we're gonna have the whole fucking game for the first one that you played 6 years ago.
Though, like, I understand.
And that bitch is gonna be $70 for 10 years too.
Let's be real. So, doesn't it actually make sense where, like, why they made this game $70? Because that probably gonna be the last biggest Nintendo game until the next hardware comes.
It could be a cross-gen game. It could be. The thing is with the Switch.
Because let's be real. Let's just say next generation for the Nintendo. Every Mario upcoming game, every Zelda, the next Animal Crossing, $70. You think right now Sony is pissing you guys off? But wait till when Nintendo does that shit, bro. You're not gonna tell me how long has it been since. What's it called? Ultimate been out. I think 2017 or 2018, right? And it is still $60, man.
Yo, bro. So my cousin, right? I was taking him out to have him. I was buying him something for his birthday, right? And I'm just at the GameStop or whatever the case is. I'm just looking at the things because he likes Nintendo games. He has a Switch. So here I go, looking at Zelda Breath of the Wild, $59.99. I said, what the fuck?
That's what I'm saying, man. These games.
I said, ain't no fucking way you gonna still charge those $59.99. Now, that's a ballsy ass move, yo. That's like, bro, that's ballsy to say that. And I like how the media was quiet as kept, yo. They was quiet. All you hear was sniffing and clearing their throat. They was like, Nintendo was like $70. What the media do?
Not a goddamn thing. Like, this shit is crazy, man. Nothing.
That's crazy to me.
No articles. None. Like, nothing.
And you're
is
right.
It really worth it? Does it take advantage of the hardware? Like, nothing.
And you're right, Ryu. You're absolutely right. Because what is the ramifications? So your next Mario game is going to be almost $100 for a kid's toy. That's fucking crazy.
That's just gonna,
and you know that
infuriate these Game Pass fans. That's all I'm gonna say. Like they're gonna.
They don't play games anyway, man. They already do.
I'm not gonna like
play games.
interfere or trying to like. Even though I hate to mention them, but I just love to mention them because it's like I'm mentioning the stupidity that's just coming from their mouths when they clearly don't know shit about gaming. All they know about is just having things cheap and for free. Instead of going out there and buy the game. Like, dude, let me just put it like this. Let me give you a short story. So this was, I think it was 2020. Yeah, 2020. When Cold War, when I was pre-ordering it, right? Knowing that I was pre-ordering it, I was at my work and I was watching the PlayStation, what's it called? State of Play, right? The end of it. That's when they announced Ragnarok. I said, you know what? I think I'm going to have to get me a PS5 now. Fuck all that, right? So then, I don't know who tweeted it, but I know it was from Sony. He said, you can now pre-order your PS5s. I go to GameStop, trying to finish my pre-order for Cold War, and it was like, hey, man, you know we pre-ordering PS5s? I'm like, what you mean y'all pre-ordering PS5 right now? And I was like, you know, I think I saw a tweet about that. And then I asked him this. If I come back tomorrow and pay it all, because I get paid tomorrow, do you think I'm going to be able to pay that tomorrow? Or all the pre-orders going to be gone? He said, no, they're going to be gone. So I asked him, how many you got left? He said, I got 9 pre-orders left. All right, you know what? Let me just put this $50 down so I can just claim my PS5. You don't understand the grind and struggle people were going through when I was just like, how can I say, what's that saying? Like, when I felt like, damn, like I'm the lucky man for like just watching you guys staying out of GameStop overnight, trying to get a PS5, cutting lines, fighting the manager. Like, bro, it was just like, yo, I'm just sitting there laughing at y'all, man.
Oh, for me, I made a mistake and I ended up getting the PS5. I saw some, look, you know how black people are. If they see something, they don't ask no fucking questions. I went on Twitter after that show and I saw somebody with a receipt. I said, oh, let me get my phone out. Hey, Walmart, let me put a pre-order in. That shit went in easy.
Damn.
That shit went in. That shit went in real quick. That KY jelly easy. And I ended up getting that shit day and date. Period.
I still got the image.
Yo, it was so wild, yo. They didn't even. It was no fighting. It was just like, here you go. Everybody else was struggling. They were like, please, Sony, please. I'm like,
Getting mad at the
for
GameStop manager, like, bro, like that's not his fault, man. Like, yo.
No, they fucked up. Yo, Gamer MD, yo, what's good? What you guys say before we close out?
Hey, what's up, guys? No, I just wanted to.
What's going
I
on,
just
bro?
wanted to see what you guys were up to. I saw Guap in here. I was like, hey, what the homie's doing?
Oh, you know, Guap is he's popping his pussy for that Zelda. That's what he's doing.
Man, it's like, dude, it's like it's gonna be an amazing game. I don't care what anybody says. People are like, I don't know if I really feel good about doing all those fusions and things. I'm like, shut up and play the game. You're gonna like it. It's gonna be fine. You know.
My particular thing, I feel like, I'm being honest, I feel like it's a little cheapened.
I mean,
what up,
look,
homie? How
I'll
you
be honest,
doing?
until we have an opportunity to play it, I think it's a little bit premature. I think
That's a fair assessment.
and I think that if you want to be reserved about it, that's fair. I mean, like, Zelda isn't for everybody, and I mean, let's be honest, right? The Switch at the end of the day is kind of more of a kid's toy than a full-on console anyway. So I get it, but I mean, you know, I'm a diehard, right?
This wasn't graphics for me personally. Just to clear the air for that one. I just wanted to see a different environment, and they're still using. I don't give a fuck about that island in the sky. I want to see a different. I don't even want to see the same thing.
I have a feeling that we'll be pleasantly surprised. They're always really good about being coy about stuff and just letting you see the familiar before they finally kind of say, "Hey, what's up?" So, by the way, like tonight, I had some adventures in cooking, right? So, hold on, I just wanted to show this to the Jumbotron because, like, I was sitting there and like I was fiending, like literally fiending for some Jamaican food. Like Jamaican jerk chicken, and there's no place around where I'm at the moment that has that kind of stuff. So I happen to have some, you know, Jamaican jerk paste. Yes, it was in a jar. Yes, you can beat my head against the wall. I get it, but I took that, doctored it up. You know, had some like peppers and like all this other stuff. Anyway, just it came out so damn good. So the problem is that normally you have to brine your chicken, right? I didn't have the time to brine my chicken, so what I do, I turned them into like chicken kebabs and marinated it like in all the mix, and it came out. I'm telling y'all, try this. It will absolutely blow your socks off, and you'll be able to get. And I used a wood fire, right? So it's like I got that smoky, you know, thing that you have to kind of make, you know, Jamaican jerk just right. Now, obviously, I didn't have like pimento wood or any of that kind of stuff, but man, it came in a good close second and opened my eyes to some possibilities with that flavor palette. So anyway, I was just really excited. I wanted to share that with y'all.
Hey, listen.
Yo, I got some Jamaican friends, yo. He will be fucking livid if he hears this shit.
Listen, I want to bring
don't
this.
get me wrong. I get it. It's a very traditional way of cooking. I love it. The original is the best, no doubt about it. But I'm telling you, this is some fusion right here, and it came out fire. Like, it blew my socks off way better than I expected it to be.
He gonna
Hey,
look at
salute
you
to
like
you, sir. You a beast in the kitchen, man. I'm over here living vicariously, eating my steak ramen.
Hey,
Listen, I want to bring this up right
before
quick.
you
I understand.
Before you go on, wait, hold on, wait. Before you go on, right, I'm gonna tell you, he's gonna look at you like one of them crazy ass white people from YouTube that be mixing shit in the toilet. He's gonna be fucking livid, yo. I'm cutting this piece out and I'm gonna send that shit to him, and he gonna be like, "What the fuck?"
No, man.
He gonna be pissed.
Look at that objectively. Look at that. Look at the pictures objectively and say, "Nah, I'm not gonna eat that." If somebody put that in front of you.
All right, no,
Well,
Yeah, so see,
that's
it. That's it.
No, go on, man. Go on.
I don't know if this was earlier today or I think it was last night. So I'm a diehard Resident Evil fan, right? And some clown, I don't know who he was or her. He has the audacity to say the reason why they don't want to remake Resident Evil 5 because they think it's a racist. And then they go and bring on, oh, but Leon's killing the Hispanics. I'm like, bro, why y'all bringing race into fucking gaming, my nigga?
Oh, this Saturday?
No, I don't know what day it was. I don't know what day it was, but
No. Who's talking? By the way, hold on. Who's talking?
You.
Why you sound different? What happened to the? Why you got extra bass? What happened?
Hey man, shit, I'm getting old.
He had to clear his throat. So what I'm saying, though, I'm like, this Saturday, yo, I'm gonna talk about that shit, yo, for real. I don't have enough time to talk about that shit now, but I already have like a whole little script about people just injecting this race bait and shit. But before we close out here, yo, Gamer MD, I ain't gonna lie, it looked good, but that better not be no rice-a-roni.
No, hell no. No,
I was going to say.
No. It's like, again, it's kind of like a little fusion stir fry. So like, I love Asian food, and it's kind of the common denominator that I use when I come to like mix different things together, because there's certain cooking techniques that are really fast in Asian food, and I don't normally have a lot of time. So, between that and then like, grilling, right? Like that's some place, like I love grilled meat. That's like one of my favorite things to eat. So between that, it's like, there's so many different flavor palettes that I'll take stuff from and put into my food. Like, I'm a huge fan of flavor, right? Like, if you can't see the herbs and seasonings and feel the heat and everything else, it doesn't count. You did something wrong. So, this came out so flavorful.
It does look good, yo. It looks really good. And I'm gonna tell you right now, because if you cook, and you're a good cook, if you can look at food and taste it.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes you can look at the ingredients, and in your mind, you can put the two ingredients together and kind of figure out what it would taste like.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a culinary genius right there. That's what that shit is. If you could do that, then you got some skill right there. If you can look at some shit, like somebody was a genius to take orange and cream and put that shit together. That don't even sound right.
Yeah, no, you're straight.
That shit's banging. I'm pretty sure he looked at that shit, was like, that probably would taste.
Oh, absolutely.
Let me see this real quick.
Hey, but full disclosure, it's like I've actually owned 2 different restaurants, so like my situation is a little bit different than.
Oh no, I'm looking at the food. There's no way that you be like some regular ass person. No, I saw. But I'm still telling though.
No, that's fine. And listen, you're not gonna get an argument with me, right? Like, traditional Jamaican jerk is the best Jamaican jerk. Like, everything else is a facsimile. And but at the same time, I was just, there's a certain flavor profile that comes between all the different flavors. It's all the ginger, and there's garlic, and it's just the way that all comes together is just so good. Like, it's like one of those, every part of the world has certain foods that kind of like, no matter what, is a step above everybody else around them. And Jamaican jerk is one of those flavor profiles that's just phenomenal. I mean, genuinely phenomenal. And so it's like, I love Caribbean food. I love, anything that's got spice, heat, flavor to it. I'm 100%, you know what I'm saying? And then it's like, everything like Indian food, Thai food, Japanese food, Chinese food, all of it, Vietnamese food. Oh my God. Like, just the flavor palettes, man. Nepalese food, you know what I'm saying? Get yourself some momos, and it's like all of a sudden you're just in a different universe, and it's like that's why it's like I have such a hard time with people who you can tell by the way they talk to you what kind of food they eat, because there's some dumb piece of shit like redneck or some thing like that, and they eat like chicken tenders and mac and cheese, and that's their entire existence. And I'm like, you're so fucking boring, because the entire world has so much flavor and so many different things to experience. And if you eat their, different people's foods, you have that opportunity to break bread with folks that are different than you, think different than you. You know what I'm saying? And all of a sudden you're like, hey, I'm human, you're human. We're breaking bread together. We have something in common. And it's like, oh my God, this food is so good. And if people took that approach, their relationships would be so much better. You know what I'm saying? It's like they wouldn't have all this racism and all this sexism and all this misogyny and all this other bullshit. Genuinely, I think food is the key to all that.
I thought it was sex, but okay.
Hey, man, it's part of the equation.
Hell yeah, that's the precursor. The food is the appetizer till you get to know someone intimately. You know what I mean? Definitely. Shout out to you. Shout out to you with that, gamer.
No, I mean,
it ain't nothing better. It ain't nothing better than to fucking bust that nut. You fucking, and you have some food after that shit, some good ass food. You sleep for 17 hours. I promise you. You'll be out of commission. Out, non-negotiable, out of commission. She'll be able to do whatever the fuck she wants to do.
No, but I mean, like, that's the whole entire thing, though, right? Like,